What's going on, everyone? So, this whole offseason, I was very adamant and pushing that Christian Wood was going to Lakers. I didn't have any inside information. I didn't know, I wasn't on the phone with Christian Wood or anything like that. But it just made the most sense to me as a guy that kind of needs to rebrand himself and kind of build his image once again. And so I just thought, it's Miami or the Lakers make the most sense. I think that if he goes to the Lakers, he'll get a bigger impact. His relationship with Wood. I just think being in LA, home for him, right? I just thought that would be the best course for him. Born in Long Beach, California, it just made sense, right? And lo and behold, boom, Christian Wood signs with the Lakers. We're all pumped. We're all excited. And then, of course, there's all the questions of how would he fit? There's this stigma that he's terrible defensively. Although, again, all offseason, I was defending that and I said, no, he is not. I even made an entire video breaking down his defense to just basically explain to everybody, hey, it's not true. He developed the stigma in Dallas, little bit in Houston, but it's just he was on two terrible teams, right? When you have an entire team that is terrible defensively and you're asking Christian Wood to be Anthony Davis, basically, you're not going to get that from Christian Wood. But when he's, defending out on the perimeter, he's excellent. He can be a great last line of defense in spots. But if you're just constantly allowing the offensive player to blow by you, and now Christian Wood has to defend three or four guys, then no, he's going to get killed every time, right? Because, again, he's not Anthony Davis, and there's only one Anthony Davis. There's a reason Anthony Davis is the best defense player in the league because he covers so much ground. But Christian Wood's ability to defend out on the perimeter and in the interior, I thought would be a huge asset to the Lakers, and I thought he'd be very good defensively this year. And so far, he has been fantastic. Christian Wood is looking like the absolute steal of free agency. Most of the big acquisitions were via trade. But even then, I just think the risk reward, the cost of Christian Wood compared to even some of those trades, like the Chris Paul trade or, the Bradley Beal trade or things like that, right? Which, again, free agency to me, free agent signings are signings, right? Those, again, were all trades. But still, I think Christian Wood is clearly making the case as the best value signing in the league this year. And I'm just very thankful and glad that he signed with the Lakers. He has looked just A1 and has been huge for us in pretty much every game, right? He's had some huge plays, some huge key moments. His defense on Kevin Durant at the end of that Suns game was huge for us. The guy is he's making an insane impact for the Lakers. I know it's been 5 games, but I only think he's going to continue to get better because, 1, I think he's going to get more comfortable in his role. I think 2, his role will be more defined. And 3, I think he'll build better chemistry. He'll get into more of a rhythm, right? Because offensively, he's still hasn't been great. Now, if you just look at his stats at glance, they look great, right? This season, he's given you, we'll round it up to 9 points because it's 8.8 points. He's given you basically 9 points, 8 rebounds in 21 minutes of play, which is fine, right? We know he could go give you 17 to 20 on any given night, and he's going to have his moments this season, and he's going to get his opportunities this season. LeBron's probably going to miss some games. Anthony Davis is probably going to miss some games. And in those games, Christian Wood is going to get huge minutes. He's probably going to be playing 35 minutes those games and is going to have a big role, big opportunity in those games. But even if you look at his field goal percentage so far, he's shooting 57.7% on 5 attempts per game, which is really good, right? But he's had some struggled games. It's just the games where he's been good offensively, he's 7 of 9 or 8 of 9. So it's just that's really helped kind of balance out those early rough games. But offensively, you're starting to see him really start to pick it up. He's also shooting 38.5% from three, which is really good because his three-point shot, again, is starting to pick up, starting to fall in line. We've seen him hit a couple threes the last few games, which is what we really need. Now, from two-point range, he's shooting nearly 77% on three attempts. We really need to get him more looks inside the paint and around the basket. I mean, again, the guy is shooting 77%. Like, I mean, the beauty of him and his ability to stretch the floor is great. And you definitely want to get him some looks in that regard. But I'd like to see them actually run some sets and call his number a little more, right? Because I do think that he's positioned enough to where like he can make a real impact offensively. I mean, obviously you have a lot of offensive threats and LeBron James, Anthony Davis, obviously. D'Angelo Russell has been fantastic these last two games. Austin Reeves, hopefully he's starting to come into his own. He kind of had that breakout in the back half of the previous game against the Clippers, which I'm so glad we won. When Rui's back, Rui's another offensive threat. So Taurean Prince has shot very well for the Lakers. So we definitely have a lot of options to score the basketball, but I just think when Christian Wood is on the court, get him some easy looks, because more times than not, he's also a mismatch out there, right? He's usually either they have a smaller guy on him or he's just able to get by the bigger sort of, flat-footed big man, right? So I just look at it as like, why aren't we kind of maximizing Wood more on the offensive side, especially when we get on these like slow starts? Like, I just think Wood's a guy that you could just easily sub in and dump the ball down to and just kind of let him go to work. Allow him to kind of just score and get easy buckets around the basket. Again, you run some pick and pops, right? Like, allow him to step out, knock down the three ball. I'm okay with that, but I'd like to see them try to not just solely make him a three-point shooter, because literally half of his shot attempts are from three. So he's shooting, again, 5.2 attempts per game. 2.6 are from three-point range, and 2.6 are from two-point range. So literally half of his shot attempts are from three. I don't mind him shooting threes, but if he's only going to get 5 attempts, I'd like the 5 attempts to be, or at least 4 of the 5 attempts to be inside, because I just think that that's going to get his point total up. And I think that that's going to give him more of an impact on the offensive side of the basketball for us. His rebounding has been fantastic as well. I mean, he's rebounding the basketball excellent. Free throws, he needs to shoot the free throws better. He's kind of been hot and cold his entire career from the free throw line. Like, if you look at like all the years he's been in the league, his first year he was 62%, then he was 73%, then 73%, then 66%, then 75%, 74%, 63%, 62%, 77%, and now 69.2%. Constant like hot and cold with Christian Wood, and I'm hoping he can kind of get closer to like 77%. But also, it seems like the more he shoots free throws, the better his percentage is, right? So like last year, he shot 4.2 free throws per game, and he shot 77.2%, right? As opposed to this year, he's getting 2.6 free throws per game, which is funny that he's exactly 2.6 across the board. So his free throw attempts are 2.6 per game. His 2-point attempts, 2.6 per game, and his 3-point attempts are 2.6 per game. So talk about efficient, right? Talk about the efficiency that he's providing. But again, his versatility has just been massive for the Lakers. His ability to play the 4, play the 5. You can slot him alongside Anthony Davis, slot him alongside Jackson Hayes, and then even play him at the 3, which we got to see against the Clippers. We got to see him, Hayes, and Anthony Davis, which I think is huge. I mean, no pun intended. I mean, it definitely is a huge lineup. But I also think that it's something that I don't think you could do against every team, but I do think you could do it against many teams, right? I think it's even a look that you could throw at if we have that inevitable Denver matchup, right? Like you could throw Christian Wood on Michael Porter Jr. and then have like Hayes on a Jokic with Anthony Davis kind of being that help defense for Jackson Hayes and kind of make Jokic have to go over two trees and kind of just leave Aaron Gordon open in the corner, right? Like if Aaron Gordon hits 10 threes, you live with that. But I mean, Aaron Gordon isn't this like super high elite 3-point shooter. So it's just, to me, like that would probably be my game plan, right? If I was to throw a lineup like that, I'd be like, hey, AD, just kind of leave him open in the corner and focus on Jokic. If he shoots the lights out, then he shoots the lights out. Like, and he doesn't take a lot of attempts, right? So I mean, the most attempts he's taken since he's been with Denver is 3.5 attempts in 2021-2022. Last year when they won the championship, he only averaged 3 attempts per game. And then this season, he's only averaging 1, and he's shooting 20% from 3. And he's only a career 32% three-point shooter. So if it was me, I would put, like I said, Christian Wood on Michael Porter Jr., let him match up size-wise, because now you got basically 2 6'10 guys matched up together. Christian Wood has the size and the length to kind of disrupt that. Jackson Hayes, he's not going to be able to handle Jokic by himself, but he can kind of be the first line of defense with AD coming over as the help defender. And again, you just kind of leave Aaron Gordon alone. And if Aaron Gordon beats you, Aaron Gordon beats you, right? That's kind of the approach. I think you could do that against them. I think you could do that lineup against a team like Minnesota. I think you could do that against many teams in this league. But I also don't think you could do it for too many minutes a game, right? It's kind of one of those lineups where it's like, you know, if you do it in the right dose, then you're good, right? Do it in, you know, I thought like Darvin Ham did it for like just the right amount. I know a lot of people were kind of wanting to see that a little longer or kind of have that thrown back in again. I just, I thought Darvin Ham did an excellent job kind of throwing that out there, giving it enough time to marinate. It had its impact. That was great. But then you saw that that kind of, that, okay, it's time to get rid of that and we'll save it for another day. And that is what I mean by Christian Wood and just his impact and versatility, right? His rebounding, his offense, his defense. I mean, he's already left his mark on the Lakers. And when we signed him, I talked about how, you know, he's very likely going to be one of the big impact players for the Lakers this year. Like, I think he's going to be one of the key. Like, if the Lakers win the championship this year, which I still am very high and think is very likely to happen, I think Christian Wood is going to be a huge reason why. I think Christian Wood is going to have those games in the playoffs. Granted, we haven't seen him in the playoffs, so we don't really know. But I do. I think he's going to have that game or two where he's just the mismatch that leads us to a victory, or he makes the hustle play, or he grabs the rebound, or he has the block shot, or whatever, right? I definitely think there's going to be some things that Christian Wood does for us over the course of the season that are going to have that resounding impact, and he already has. So, I mean, so far from what we've seen, I think it's a safe bet. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel about Christian Wood so far? Do you think he's been the absolute steal of free agency? Whatever your thoughts are, however you feel, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked the video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot, lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you.